Welcome to Plaid for Women TV, your go-to resource for the business of life. Whether the CEO of your home or your own business, women struggle with the same challenges. At Plaid TV, we discuss real-life issues affecting real women and offer solutions to help you achieve your goals, get connected, and be heard. Together, we will change the world. Let's do this. No mean girls allowed.
Hey, welcome everybody to Plaid for Women TV. I'm Siobhan Palmer. In this video, we're talking about personal branding. My guest is Kristin Kaufman. She's the CEO and founder of Alignment Incorporated, a Dallas-based consultancy firm that helps individuals, corporations, and boards of directors align with both their personal and professional mission. Kristin, welcome.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be here.
This is one of my favorite topics. So let's, first of all, why don't you give us your definition of what personal branding is?
Right. Well, you know, in my generation, a brand was really your reputation. So in a nutshell, a personal brand or your reputation is what people think, say, or do anytime your name comes to mind.
That makes me think that first impressions are really critical sometimes.
They are, if they can be lasting impressions.
Right.
So, you know, when people talk to me about a brand and they say, oh, it doesn't really matter if I show up this way or that way, I always deliver the goods. And I'm like, well, yes, it does matter. Yeah. Because they say, oh, well, I don't have a brand. Yes, you do. Everyone has a brand. Either you are creating the brand or the brand is being created for you.
What are the variables? Give us some instances of what you would consider under the personal branding.
So a lot of factors play into the brand. Your social media, how you dress, how you talk, how you interact on email, how you talk on the phone, how you show up at a board meeting, how you show up at a bar. You know, it's all very integrated, especially in today's world where everything is so transparent.
Yes.
And there's nowhere to hide in today's world. So your brand has become even more and more important because you never know who's looking at you. So again, the guiding parameter is your brand is what people will think, say, or do anytime your name comes to mind.
Okay, you mentioned social media specifically. I'm sure you consult with a lot of your clients. Why don't you give us the pros and cons of social media relative to a personal brand?
Well, obviously the pros is that it's much easier to proliferate your brand, right?
Yes.
But that can also be a con. Because especially in the millennials, they don't really have a filter oftentimes what they put out on social media. And then when they're trying to interview for a job or they're being researched for a job, be careful what's out on social media because anything that's out there will ultimately be tied to you. So you want it to represent what it is that you want it to represent. Mm-hmm. You don't want it to show a side of you that is not consistently how you want to be thought of.
How can you build a personal brand and be authentic to yourself? Is it possible to be authentic with your brand that reflects both your professional and personal life?
Absolutely. I think authenticity is one of the critical success factors for a brand. If you try to be somebody that you're not, you will be found out. People can spot a fake or a fraud a mile away,
yes.
Especially in today's arena where everything is so transparent. So authenticity, from my perspective, is one of the critical success factors for having a very powerful brand.
Also, you know, you're extremely successful in the corporate world, 25 years plus, and now a successful entrepreneur in coaching younger women entering the workforce. Cite some examples of some things that you kind of led them to where you were seeing some challenges they might have had in terms of building their own personal brand.
You mean how they do it or?
What you observed in the workplace that you counseled them on
Yes.
that might have helped them avoid some pitfalls?
Yes, I think a lot of times women and men, for that matter, are naive in what is being seen. They think that if they do a good job and they show up and they deliver the goods, that how they behave on a Friday night or how they dress,
Yes.
On casual Friday,
Yes.
is not appropriate or not necessary to be guarded. And my coaching to them is, again, your guardrail is this. Anything you want them to think, say, or do anytime your name comes up, that is your brand. So if you show up and you're drunk on a Friday night happy hour, and yet you want to be taken seriously on Monday morning,
Yep.
Be careful because it's inconsistent. It's an incongruent message that you're putting out relative to your brand.
Another thing I wanted to ask you about too is being very open about political or religious viewpoints or any other areas that cause controversy, generally speaking. What's your thought on that?
Yes, there's an old rule of thumb when I was growing up. You don't talk about sex, religion, or politics. And I actually think that that's pretty sage advice even today. I keep my beliefs very confidential, especially in the workplace. Because it's not relevant.
Right.
It's not relevant to my performance. It's not relevant to why I was hired and why I was brought in. Now, I might want to have those confidential conversations with a friend,
right,
which I can do.
Sure.
But it's not relevant to the brand that I'm wanting to put forth in the workplace.
Mm-hmm. Why don't you share with us somebody that you really admire that's got a very strong personal brand?
I was thinking about that. Oprah Winfrey is the first person that came to mind, to be honest. I mean, she guards her brand, fervently.
Yes.
And if you think about it, anytime you think of Oprah Winfrey, there are common denominators that everyone will have, and that's because she uses those guardrails. Anything that I do, any interview that I have, any article that I write, any book that I comment on is going to be representative of my brand.
Absolutely.
So I have to be consistent. I can't be incongruent. And how I behave, whether it be at someone's wedding or at my own birthday party, is how I'm going to be perceived. So I think she's got an incredible, it's almost a flawless brand, frankly.
Yeah.
You may not agree with it, you may not like it, but her brand is absolutely what she wants it to be.
Fantastic. And I know you're also involved with another organization, Rodan and Fields, and you have great admiration for the two women, the co-founders, and how they've presented themselves.
Yes, and that's an excellent point too. Dr. Rodan and Dr. Fields, the creators of Proactive, they've done a masterful job of creating a very powerful brand for their company. They are 50-plus-year-old women with a late-in-life success with this Rodan and Fields. They are creating a platform for women like me who want to have residual income and a portfolio revenue stream in our careers to do so. Their culture is representative of how they live their life. It is representative of their entrepreneurial spirit, and they are truly changing skin and changing lives. That is a powerful brand.
Right.
Anytime you think of those two doctors, that's what you're going to think of.
You bet. So you have to be very careful about who you align yourself with because you're judged by the company you keep ultimately.
You are. I mean, another lesson that my mama taught me, you are the company you keep, and that is very true. Mm-hmm. You want to hang with the people you want to be known for hanging with.
Absolutely. She's got a smart mama here, folks.
I do. I have a brilliant mother.
Kristin, thank you again for this great information. If our audience would like to get more information about Kristin Kaufman, how do they get a hold of you?
My website is Kristin Kaufman, Kristin Kaufman, KAUFMAN.com.
Kristin, thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Siobhan Palmer with Plaid for Women TV. See you next time.
Thanks for watching Plaid TV. See you next time.